Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Today is Thursday, February 27th, so we're almost through February here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good week thus far. Friendly reminder, of course, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, of course, I'm going to give people a chance to come in. I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in to a couple minutes here. See if we can get them in here. Let's see. As always, again, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will and of course we'll try to I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So let me see here. All right. Let's see. So got through 1934 today on my cartoon watching, as it were. So saw a couple of Popeye cartoons, of course, today with that. Let's see, including, of course, the Let's Sing with Popeye cartoon. That, even though that was not necessarily part of the Popeye series, that was more part of the Screen Song series. You had, of course, Popeye, who was voiced at the time by Billy Costello, singing the his theme. At the time being voiced by Billy Costello. So let's see now. So we're at what 2:36. So why don't we go ahead and so I'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. So tonight we're going to be, of course, going over. We're going to be going over. We're going to be heading over to Bleeding Fool, where we're going to be going over the Indie Comic Showcase from. Hey, Rick, thanks for popping in, my friend. See you right there. So yeah, so we're gonna be looking at the Indie Comic Showcase with Chris Braley. There are like 3 selections to go over tonight. So with that being said, plus of course we'll have the wrestling wrap up, look back to last night's Dynamite, as well as look ahead to tonight's Impact and Ring of Honor shows. With WWE also preparing for this weekend, for this Saturday's Elimination Chamber. Something, So with all that being said, of course, why don't we go ahead and get started then on all that. Also, we'll have this day in each history as well. So let's get into this. All right, so Indie Comics Showcase number 296, Pigman, Recon and the Little One, and the Poison Well. Article by Chris Braley, published yesterday, the 26th. So let's get into this. Welcome back to another installment of Indie Comics Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self-publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle. And of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about these projects to your friends and followers. On Indie Comics Showcase, We interview the creators, show off some art, tell you how you can check out product for yourself. Below, we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comic Showcase. Let's jump in. So, first one, of course, is Recon and the Little One by Sean Wood. So let's go grab the link there for you guys. Go grab the link here. Let's see. It's a Kickstarter campaign. Here's a link to that if you guys want to go check that out. Just give it a sec here to show you guys off. That's the Kickstarter campaign. So now let's get into the interview here. And again, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Recon and the Little One by Sean Wood. Looks like a bit of a robot type comic here. Mecha. All right, so Chris Braley. Welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Sean. Hit me with your elevator pitch for Recon and the Little One. Sean Wood. This is a sci-fi action horror one-shot comic with a robot versus zombies. The best way to describe it is Samurai Jack meets Wally, tasked with saving the last girl on Earth against zombies. Oh boy, that sounds interesting. Samurai Jack and Wally, huh? Okay. Chris, what inspired this project? Sean, the idea came from my fear of my 4-year-old daughter growing up in this crazy world and my need to protect her. After I had the idea, I made our lovable, protecting robot take on a life from my son and I. The Little One and her stuffed bunny is based on my daughter. I'm doing this on my own because I have done well with my first series on Kickstarter called The Fog Within, and I wanted to build on my previous success. You know, this kind of sounds very similar to what Tug's been doing that Umbrella guy's been doing the last few years here with, incorporating, his little girl into comics as well. So this kind of stuff is, I think, pretty precious if you really think about it. Getting the families involved and all that, on the fun side of comics and all that. Chris, is it suitable for children or an older audience? Sean, the story is aimed at someone who enjoys action horror comics that is in the range of 16 and up. Chris, tell me about your creative process. How do you start? Sean, I've always been told that the best idea for a story starts from a fear and always write what you would want to see on the shelf. I've always loved zombie stories, and I immediately loved adding robots to it. Robots versus zombies. Interesting stuff there. Chris, who else is on your creative team? Sean, once I had the script ready, I needed an artist that would have a lot of emotion, to my characters' faces. I think he forgot to put in the word added there, but I've bought Dave Schwartz's books in the past, so I know he would be perfect for the project. He is the artist and colorist on the book. Chris, how far along is the book? Sean, Dave and I have been working on this project together since early November. All the inks for all 24 pages are complete. The only colored page that's not done is the drawn in as a zombie page. Um, Letters will be completed after the campaign is over. That sounds like he's got quite a bit of the work done already on it. Chris, what are you learning from crowdfunding? Sean, I have loved the freedom of everything involved in crowdfunding. If you are willing to put in the work, you can reap the benefits. We have grown in each campaign that I have done in the past 2 years. Chris, what are your plans beyond this book? Sean, I have already started writing scripts for three other comics set in this universe. Once this campaign is successful, we will continue writing these stories. So it sounds like he's building a universe there around this stuff. Let's see, Chris. Anything you'd like to highlight on this campaign? Sean, I have a few special tiers. You can be drawn in as a zombie. Another great tier is the hand sculpted 6-inch model of our robot Recon. Um, I have the first one at my house now, and it looks amazing. Looks great, Sean. Good luck. All right, so there we go with that one. So now let's get ready to move on to the next Pigman by Bosch Foston. So let's see. Some pretty gnarly artwork there. And this is a Fund My Comic project, it looks like. Let me just grab the... So here comes the next... And of course, if you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the question to the best of my ability. So here's the link to, and it's a Fund My Comic project. So if you guys want to go check that out. There it is. All right. So with that, Pigman by Bosch Boston. Doesn't look quite like a pig. We'll find out what's going on here. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Bosch. What can you tell me about Pigman? Bosch Boston. The Islamic background of twins comes to the forefront of their lives on 9/11, echoed by the comic book within the story, Pigman versus Super Jihad. It's recovered Muslims versus born-again Muslims. A different kind of war comic, cultural war, political war, philosophical war, media war, brothers at arms, brothers at war, and war on the battlefield. Chris, what is the genesis of this comic? Bosch, Pigman was my response to the atrocity of 9/11. When I was thinking of a hero to take on jihad, I thought of my Muslim background and how the pig was considered the most loathsome of creatures. So I decided to wrap an ex-Muslim in pigskin leather to exploit the Islamic enemy's bigotry. Bigotry! Nice portmanteau right there. Nice portmanteau. Bigotry, in other words, pig bigotry. Nice portmanteau. And then I decided to add the small quote real world element in the story of a cartoonist who creates the Pigman comic book and all the trials and tribulations that brings his way. Imagine somebody going around in a pig costume fighting crime. That's interesting. Can you imagine somebody like Porky Pig or Petunia Pig going around? Hello. Let's see. Somebody's. Hi, Mike. This is Paul Monsky. Met you the other night at Rex's stream. All right. Well, welcome, Paul. Hopefully, let's see your Vavo. Well, hope you enjoy the show here. We're going over the Indie Comic Showcase from Bleeding Fool. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show. And, of course, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. All right, so thanks for that. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Chris, what kind of comic reader is this aimed at? Bosch, readers who want something different, something that takes on a real world enemy in a way that hasn't been done before. There's no book like it out there. Yeah, I haven't seen too many pig heroes in my time. Chris, what's your history and experience with comics? Bosch. Comic books were my first love, and being exposed to the works of all-time greats Kirby, Ditko, Eisner, Buscema, the Romitas, John Byrne, Frank Miller, Dave Mazzucchelli, and Alex Toth, and others, made me want to draw comic books. But then I read The Dark Knight Returns, Daredevil, Born Again, and that led me wanting to becoming a cartoonist who wrote and drew my own book. I don't separate the storytelling and the art, as it's all of one piece, with every part of the process geared towards furthering the story, even the lettering and coloring. My two greatest influences are Frank Miller and Alex Toth. Miller is the best storyteller this medium has seen, from his writing to his layouts, and Alex Toth is the greatest comic book artist ever. Now, Alex Toth also is a cartoon. I know I've seen his credits on some old Walter Lantz, shorts. So, got quite a talented duo there. And I'm not conscious of their direct effect on my work, but I do know that they have had the strongest impact on it. Interesting how this guy is doing, everything, doing everything from both the art and the Chris, this book has been available in the past, right? What's the background on that? Bosch, this particular book, Pigman number 1, is a reintroduction of Pigman to a new audience, and it will be made up of remastered versions of issue 1 and 2 of my longtime The Infidel, featuring Pigman comic book. So I will be rereading it and seeing where I can improve the book, as it's been 15 years since it came out. So 15 years, so means back in 2010. And I will be doing that along with working on another book I've been working on for over 2 years within the next few months. And I will be shipping it out at the end of July 2025. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this up for a moment. I'm gonna go off camera here for a quick moment here, so you guys take a look at the picture there. I'll be right back. Put some music on while I'm gone. I'll be right back. Let's see. I have a pig-inspired villain. Ah, you do, Rick. Okay. Anyways, I'll be right back when, as I said, just go off camera here for a moment. All right, I'm back. So let's continue on with the article here. Chris, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned from self-publishing? Bosch, I've been self-publishing for over 20 years, with 4 comic books, 7 books, and many prints, trading cards, playing cards, and more. And I'm only now, for the first time, working on crowdfunding. So it's a whole new world to me, but I'm enjoying it very much. And I'm trying my best to give potential readers good reasons to back my project. From live streams, post on X, and asking others to help promote it. I hope to take what I'm learning now and move towards Pigman number 2 and beyond. Let's see, Chris. So there are more. There are more stories to tell. Bosch, many stories, yes. As I noted, I'm currently working on a large project, a graphic novel around 350 pages. And then after I finish that and Pigman, I have 2 stories lined up. I love comics and I love making them. And being a part of Comicsgate has given me real hope for the future. Guess that looks more like an alt cover right there. Let's see, Chris, what should interested readers look for on the campaign? Bosch, I'm continuing to add perks, and I just added an original commission of Pigman to be based on the customer's idea. I have something else in mind, a possible stretch goal of a flip book that I've finally been able to find a printer for and add to the campaign, but it's still a live process. I will be considering as my campaign goes on. See, Chris, anything else you'd like to share before we wrap this interview, Bosch? Bosch, thanks for giving me the opportunity to write about my book. And again, if you want to read something that's unlike anything else out there, consider backing Pigman #1 at Fund My Comic. And then Chris, thanks, Bosch. Good luck. All right, so now got one more here, The Poison Well by Mitchell Tierney. All right, well, let's see, by Mitchell Tierney. Look like a black and white one here, so let me go. Go grab. There's another Fund My Comic. Another Fund My Comic. All right. Another Fund My Comic project here. Hold on, one more trip, there we go. And here's the link to this one. I'm going to go check that out. The Poison Well by Mitchell Tierney. All right, so let's get into the interview here. We got two Fund My Comic projects and a Kickstarter project tonight. So let's see. So Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase. Mitchell, tell me about The Poison Well. Mitchell Tierney. Poison Well is a vigilante that lives in the shadow of his father. The poison idea. He preys on drug dealers and abusers. His headquarters is an abandoned mansion on the coast. A podcaster wants to do a story of him and his father, and soon tracks him down to interview him. Chris, what made you decide to self-publish it? Mitchell, I'm a writer and couldn't find an artist, so I took it on myself. I was inspired by Batman, but didn't want my vigilante to be a billionaire playboy with gadgets and cars and planes. The Poison Well is dirt poor. I shape the panels in blue pencil, then I draw it in pencil, then I ink it, then I scan it. There's no color, no computer involved other than scanning. It's very old school. Um, and he apparently, there's a little bit of a editing error there. Added one O too many there. I even letter it myself. All right. So, Chris, what's been your experience with comics? Mitchell, I love Frank Miller and Mike Mignola's noir style and wanted to use that black and white feel. I don't write the script first. I just brainstorm it and start my morning by drawing a page and then adding the dialogue. I wake up with a passion to draw comics. So around 6 a.m. or sometimes 5:30 a.m., I drink coffee and draw a comic for a few hours before I start my full-time writing job. I love graphic novels. I want the full story arc. So I developed the 3 issues, which are 70 pages. See, let me see what's going on in the chat there. Hey, Timbo, too. Welcome to the show. Hopefully you're enjoying the show thus far. Again, if you haven't already, if you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, anyway, continuing on with the article here. Chris, what other crowdfunding experience do you have? Mitchell, my novels were successful on Kickstarter, and my solo role-playing games are successful on GameFound. So I decided to put the comic on Fund My Comic to see what happens. Chris, what are your plans beyond this book? Mitchell, many more stories to tell. I love The Poison Well and his father, The Poison Idea, who was a mass vigilante in the 1970s. A second graphic novel would be extremely enticing. Graphic novel, The Poison Well. And right there. Anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off? Chris asks. Mitchell responds, I've loved comics my whole life. I draw so many comics, but never release them as my art isn't up to scratch. But it has an appeal that I hope will find an audience. All right, so that's it for this installment. If you're a creator ramping up your own campaign or have a comic available for purchase online and you want to be featured in our weekly column, click here. So we can hopefully help you get more eyes on your crowdfunding comic project. Till next time, support indie comics. Bang. Alrighty then. So, to of course recap what we covered tonight. The first one from Kickstarter, Recon and the Little One. If you guys want to go check that out, there's a link to that. from Fun My Comics, Pigman. There's a link to that one. And the last one, of course, The Poison Well. Again, if you guys can just click the links, save the links, what have you. If you want to go check those out at some point, get more detail on that. There you go. All right, so now with all that being said and done, why don't we go ahead and move on to the wrestling wrap-up. So what we're going to do, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened see what all went down on last night's Dynamite. We're going to move on to the wrestling wrap-up here. Look back to last night's Dynamite, see what happened there. So from the Frontline Arena in Oceanside, California, last night's Dynamite, the show opened up with Hangman Adam Page defeating Aaron Solo in just under a minute. Again, further fueling, as he continues to prepare for his upcoming match against MJF at Revolution a week from this Sunday. Will Ospreay, in preparation, as he continues to prepare for his upcoming steel cage match against Kyle Fletcher, took on and defeated Brian Keith of the Learning Tree, just under 11 minutes. In a match to see who would earn a shot at the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW World Tag Team titles. The Outrunners, some people would argue, got an upset victory over the Murder Machine. Outrunners of Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum defeated Lance Archer and Brian Cage of the Murder Machine, representing the Don Callis family, with Don Callis watching. In a 6-man tag match, the Undisputed Kingdom of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong defeated the 3 men of TBS champion or TNT champion Daniel Garcia and former AEW World Tag Champions FTR of Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. Harley Cameron continued bouncing back from her loss to Mercedes Moné at Grand Slam, defeated Deonna Purrazzo in a one-on-one match. And the main event saw Konosuke Takeshita successfully retain the international title of Orange Cassidy, preparing to move on to his upcoming match against Kenny Omega at Revolution. So that all happened on last night's Dynamite. So now with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get ready to look ahead to tonight's Impact and Ring of Honor shows. On tonight's Impact, coming from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida, on Access TV, Sami Callihan is set to take on Mance Warner in a singles match. Mike Santana gets some work in against Oro Mensah. Steve Macklin takes on Casey Navarro, one half of First Class. Tessa Blanchard, basically now, at the risk of being fired, now had to come in and wrestle tonight as she's taking on Kelsey Heather. And a match for the TNA Knockout World Tag Team Champion Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat defend against the By Elegance duo of Ash and Heather By Elegance, personal concierge in their corner. Frankie Kazarian takes on Ace Austin, and in a 6-man in the main event, the system of TNA X Division Champion Moose with with Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, takes on NXT champion Obafemi and TNA World Tag Team Champions Jeff and Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys. Of course, the Hardy Boys coming off of their victory on this past Tuesday night's NXT from Cincinnati. Also, Moose coming off a successful title defense at that same show against Lexus King, as the Hardys were confronted by NXT Tag Team Champions Fraction after they defeated Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights of No Quarter Catch Crew. So now, looking ahead also to tonight's Ring of Honor on Ring of Honor Fight Club tonight. On tonight's Ring of Honor Fight Club, coming from the HEB Center at Cedar Park in Cedar Park, Texas, you will have in action in a trios match. You'll have Atlantis, Esfinge, and Fuego taking on Euphoria, Gran Guerrero, and Rocky Romero. Fuego del Sol makes his return to Ring of AEW and Ring of Honor television as he takes on Blake Christian. Gravity takes on Dark Panther. La Catalina takes on Lady Frost. In the main event for tonight's show, Magnus teams with Soberano Jr. and Volador Jr. to take on Atlantis Jr., Máscara de Dorado, and Templario. As tonight's Ring of Honor show filled with many of the stars of CMLL coming in to get action on American soil. So that's all I got for you on the wrestling wrap-up. So now what we will do, of course, is we'll start to wind things down here. As now, with today being Thursday, February the 27th, the 2025, of course, the penultimate day of the month of February here, as tomorrow will be the last day of February. So now we're going to take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So let me just 1995, 2000, 2005, and 2010, right? Yep. All right. So first off, I'm going to head back 30 years ago. As on this date, 30 years ago today, as I bring that up, the 10th and final issue of Jurassic Park Adventures from Topps went on sale on this date back in 1995. Sold for $1.95, and it was 32 pages. So let me just see. Let's see if we can get a little more. All right, publisher information actually. Yeah, no information there. So all right. So on that date back in 1995, 30 years ago today, the 10th and final issue of Jurassic Park Adventures from Topps went on sale on this date back in 1995. Now I don't know if if they're connected to the same Topps company that you can get your baseball cards from or not. So might be, but I don't know for certain. So, anyways, we move on to the next piece in each history as we move ahead to the year 2000. On this date in the year 2000, which was, of course, 25 years ago today, or a quarter of a century, WWE held its No Way Out event from the Harvard Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut. Take a look at the results here. The main event of that show saw Triple H retain the WWF Championship in a Hell in a Cell against Cactus Jack, of course, one of Mick Foley's personas. Also on the show, you saw Big Show defeat The Rock. The 6-man tag match, Rikishi and Too Cool of Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hardy defeated the Radicals trio of Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn. The No Holds Barred match, X-Pac with Tori in his corner, defeated Kane with Paul Bearer in his corner. Taz defeated Big Bossman via DQ. In a match for the WWF Tag Team Championship, the Dudley Boys defeated the New Age Outlaws to become the champions. And the show opened up with an Intercontinental title championship as Kurt Angle defeated Chris Jericho to win the Intercontinental title. There we go with that one. Now moving ahead to the year 2005. On this date 20 years ago today. The year 20 years ago today. At the 77th Academy Awards that year, The Incredibles, directed by Brad Bird and produced by the Walt Disney Company, wins the Academy Awards for Best Animated Feature. Ryan, by Chris Landreth, wins the Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film. And in their 100 Greatest series, the British TV channel, Channel 4, broadcast the 100 Greatest Cartoons, a list of 100 Greatest Animated Cartoons as voted by the viewers. All that happened on February 27th, 2005, the 77th Academy Awards, as well as the 100 Greatest series on British TV. So let's see. And finally, on this date in 2010, I'll bring that up. The Japanese Sunrise's Kororo Gunso, the Super Movie 5 Creation Ultimate Kororo Wonder Space Time Island. Premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 2010, on this date 15 years ago. It's a movie based, it's an anime film. It's the 5th film in the franchise based on the popular comedy manga and anime Kororo Gunso, which I believe that's the, and we know it here in the States as Sergeant Frog. I believe that's Sergeant Frog. So the 5th movie in that franchise, the Sergeant Frog franchise, from Sunrise, Sergeant Frog. Premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 2010, 15 years ago today. All right, so with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. Let's see. We'll be back here, of course, tomorrow with more Niche News. And, of course, don't forget this Sunday, we will be, I'll have RJ Carter joining me, and we'll be looking to, we'll be starting our coverage of comics that went on sale in May of 1940. We'll be focusing in on DC, introducing you guys to some classic characters there, also focusing in on some people that maybe you haven't heard too much about before. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.